Welcome to the Marketing Boost Solutions Podcast. Join host Marco Torres, along with expert guests, as they deliver incredible, proven solutions to your marketing challenges in each power-packed episode.
Today, we have the honor of introducing Daniel Omar Torres, a passionate leader who has been at the helm of Gusto's Cafe Company for 25 years. Under his guidance, Gusto has become the staple of Puerto Rican excellence, roasting premium coffee and delivering it with unparalleled customer service to bakeries, restaurants, and coffee lovers alike. A winner of the prestigious Hecho and Puerto Rico Quality Award and the Taza de Lovers alike, the Taza de Oro, rather. Daniel is also a founding member of the Entrepreneurs Organization in Puerto Rico, where he continues to support and grow the entrepreneurial community. Whether it's their award-winning coffee or their top-tier espresso machines, Daniel and his team are dedicated to making life sweeter, one cup of coffee at a time. Welcome, Omar, to the show. Omar, say hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Now,
Thank you for
I'm
having
probably
me.
one of very few who call you Omar anymore, and that's because Daniel Omar is my kid brother. Of course, he's not a kid anymore, neither am I, but he's my younger brother. We grew up together in Puerto Rico. I left the island, and he stayed there and grew an amazing business over the last 25 years with his wonderful wife, Grisel. And that's kind of where I want to start, Omar, is, you and I will go way back. Obviously, we grew up together. And then you went off to get into we were both in the restaurant business with the family business. We had Panchitas Mexican food restaurants, and you and I both helped the family operation there. You've completed University of Michigan and went through food and beverage background. You were working for a number of properties in St. Thomas, and then you decided to get into the coffee business with one vending machine, if I recall. Start from there and tell us how you went from one vending machine into 25 years of amazing coffee business in Puerto Rico.
Well, it all started out as a love story when I met my wife in St. Thomas. We got married after 3 years of dating, and we got married in June of 1999. I'm sorry, January of 1999. And yet we were still living apart from each other. And so I wanted to find a business that I could start with my wife so that she could come to St. Thomas and maybe live with, be together as a newly married couple. As I was looking for businesses, I thought vending would be something easy where she could still have free time and enjoy the beauty of the island beaches in St. Thomas while I ran the franchise restaurants, which were Kentucky Fried Chicken and Pizza Hut. At the time, actually, I was the first area manager in the world to have more than one brand, which was Pizza Hut and Kentucky Fried Chicken. I ran them both together. And that was a result and happened because of another hurricane, which we'll talk later. That was Hurricane, can't remember the name of the hurricane. I'm getting old, Marco.
Andrew or something, maybe?
No.
Hey, but there's been so many that.
Yeah, I get them all mixed up. So I came across coffee machines, and that was like a light bulb going off in the head. Puerto Rico did not have vending machines at the time because Puerto Rico is very particular about the type of coffee that we drink, and it has to be an espresso style coffee. When I came across this machine that made an espresso type beverage, and it was vending, obviously made in Italy, is when I realized this could work in Puerto Rico. And it set off what became our first two machines that we started with in a hospital. And it started off our business 25 years ago. We started the machine, we placed the first machine in May of 1999 in a hospital, which is Hospital Pavia in Santurce. And immediately the response was huge. The volume of business was great. And I knew at that moment that I needed to quit my job in St. Thomas. And instead of bringing my wife to St. Thomas, I would come to Puerto Rico and start this new business. I quit, but my company did not want to release me because they had no one to run the Virgin Islands at the time. And they allowed me to continue to start my business while I continued to operate and run all the Virgin Islands and be their area manager, but with the condition that it would be by the phone. And if I had to, I would fly to St. Thomas to take care of immediate matters. The second day I installed the first two machines, I had to fly back to St. Thomas, and one of the machines board, because of the high volume, I guess it broke down, and I had to call the supplier, and he immediately sent me a new board. And over the phone, I had to explain to my wife how to install a new board. You would think that that would maybe give me doubts of whether it would be a good business or not. But amazingly, my wife was able to change over the board, and it was simple. And instead, it just encouraged me more that the volume was so good that I needed to start this business. And that's what I did.
You know, there's a lot of power in those two comments alone. You know, when you starting a side hustle and you at the time you had a great job, it was paying you quite well, if I recall, for the, you know, especially for the time, and you're the district manager or whatever your title was throughout the Caribbean, the Virgin Islands, running multiple stores, and you start one machine and see the volume and are willing to gamble it all and just say, I'm going to give up the job and I'm going to focus 100% on this business. And Omar, in his early years there, was willing to walk away from his corporate position as the district manager of multiple franchises throughout the Virgin Islands, and said, I want to quit and run a vending machine business, with only having made successes with one. And he was willing to say, I'm going all in, as in poker, you know, I'm putting all my chips in here and I'm going to go for this vending machine business. And then I was going to ask you, don't I recall you went from that one machine to about 200 different vending machines throughout the island? And how long did that take you? And how many do you have now? Do you still have the vending machine? Is that part of the operation?
Yeah, we still have vending, but we started with that. And as you learn more about coffee, it becomes a passion. You enjoy it. You want to learn more. And I'm still learning today about coffee. And from there, we moved into espresso machines, into super automatic machines. I mean, basically, from any, we handle any need of coffee in the market. Basically, we have a solution. Office coffee service, food service, we cover it all. And we also expanded from the simple vending machines to actually owning a farm. Now we're going into developing and a beneficiado, which is where we will now process our own coffee at our farm. Instead of using a third party, we're going to be doing it ourselves. And this is so that we can continue to improve on the quality and upgrade the flavor, and make sure that we have standards in place that match our demand that we want for specialty coffee in Puerto Rico.
Wow. I'm going to share my screen here a little bit and take a look at your website, folks. We're at gustoscoffee.com, gustoscoffee.com. And, you know, if you're in Puerto Rico, live in Puerto Rico, or visit Puerto Rico, he's got multiple, 3 or 4. How many stores do you have at the airports in Puerto Rico now, at the San Juan International?
We will have 5 stores at the airport. One is being built as we speak. And we have 2 outside of the airport, and possibly a third one coming soon.
So these are really attractive locations. I mean, some of his locations in Santurce, and in what is the other one, in Atorrey, or is it what would you call
It's technically Guaynabo, but it's San Juan, next to Plaza Las Americas and San Patricio Shopping Center. It's in an industrial zone. It's not a typical location because we're surrounded by warehouses. And this is our main facility where we roast our coffee, but at the same time, we have a coffee shop where people can come in and see us roasting through the glass, at the same time, enjoy a great cup of coffee, an extraordinary cup of coffee.
Any wanting to be in business and be in business for 25 years, folks, is a major accomplishment. And I've watched my kid brother here over the years grow this amazing business, Gusto Cafe, with his wife Grisel. And I mean, they have everything from workshops and academy where they show people how to be baristas. They again they grow and brew, and what's the word for it? Roast their own coffees. Um, just an amazing operation here. And then, of course, they have their foundation. I'd like to jump in and talk to. Tell us what was behind the idea of the foundation, and when did you launch that? Okay, we're looking at some of your coffees here on your website. You've got here I've got a bottle of several bags here in front of me myself, which I'll show in a moment. One of my favorites is here, the Gustos Reserva, and then there's the what
La
am I calling it?
Montaña,
Go
La
ahead.
Montaña is our farm. It's recognized. It won the Taza de Oro 1 year, and it's like really the specialty coffee of Puerto Rico. And basically, all our reserve coffees are specialty coffee. And then we also have the Gustos Premium, which is the black bag, and it's our top seller. Um, we also, what you mentioned, that we have the SCA, we have the Gustos Academy, the Coffee Academy, and it's certified by the Specialty Coffee Association of the world. And our trainers are also certified, so you can get your certification as a barista. And we have a barista training. We also have the brewing training, and this can help you launch you into the career in the coffee world.
Sweet.
And
Um,
this certification you can take anywhere in the world, and it'll be it's worthy of the paper it's written on, that you are at the level that you're supposed to be worldwide for the Specialty Coffee Association.
Great. So after Hurricane Maria, I believe it was, you launched a foundation because the island coffee farmers were essentially destroyed, or many of them were. And tell us about that foundation. What motivated you to do it, and how you what was the goal, and what did you accomplish?
What the goal when I first set out to do the foundation was understanding that we needed to support the people in the mountains, because they're the ones that pick the coffee. They're the ones that maintain the quality. Without them, we wouldn't have a coffee industry growing in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico used to be the fourth largest exporter of coffee worldwide back in the 1880s, more or less. Those are the golden years of the coffee production in Puerto Rico. What's unique about Puerto Rican coffee is the fact that it is a well-balanced and rounded, uh, has profile and flavor. It has a medium acidity, full flavor of chocolate flavors, almond flavors, vanilla, and maybe even caramel, because it's really sweet. And the fact that it's not overly acid, and it's just full, well balanced, which is great for espresso. And that's why the Italians love Puerto Rican coffee as well as the Japanese, because it's perfect for single origin to be used without blending for an espresso and an espresso cup. Unlike other places that maybe the coffee is grown at higher altitudes, but it's perhaps the acidity is so high that you need to blend it in order to make it more of a balanced cup. So that's what's unique about Puerto Rican coffee. And the other unique thing is, other than Hawaii, Puerto Rico is the other territory that is coffee grown in the USA.
Wow, yeah, it
Which
is. It is part of the United States, folks, in case you didn't realize
yes.
that. Um, so again, when the foundation, one of the goals was to grow small trees, if I recall, and help resupply by doing whatever you were doing to quickly grow a lot of coffee trees, so that you could resupply the farmers throughout the island and get them, because it takes years before a tree is ready to start producing a quality bean. And you were help produce a bunch of these trees quickly, were you not, so that you could get them and
Yeah.
people who bought coffee at your stores. It was an island-wide campaign to help raise funds to help you put coffee trees back into all the different farms.
Yeah, it was important to be able to start growing the trees because there was no backup. The government did not have the seedlings in order to start a vivero, which is semillero. I don't know the correct word in English, but it's a nursery for the coffee trees. And we were able to salvage over several bags of coffee of the seeds, which we distributed to other nurseries on the island. We were able to help in that fashion. And also we decided that we needed to grow our own trees to supply to our neighbors. We were able to raise over 100,000 trees that we donated to our neighbors in the Yauco region. And that's what our foundation became. We wanted to focus on our neighbors in Yauco to help them as much as possible. Today, we have a center that's up in the mountains in Yauco. We have computers set up there with printers where we can help the farmers fill out applications for grants, help them fill out papers that they need to submit to the government in order to receive all the incentives that as a farmer are receive in order to help us reduce the cost of farming. As you know, farming is very expensive, and in Puerto Rico, we have to live by all the FDA regulations, all the environmental regulations, and also with the federal minimum wage laws. So it's very expensive, and anything that we can allow and help with incentives for growing the coffee and helping our farmers, our neighbors is what we want to do.
Wow. You need to like start selling an experiential getaway to the mountains of Puerto Rico to, like, so you need to build an Airbnb up on that farm and give everybody an experience.
That
Experiential getaway, huh?
that could be one of our goals in the future because not only do we need to create an economy based on coffee alone, but having Airbnbs creates another type of economy where you need people to clean the house, you need people to cook. So that's maybe down the road is something that we can focus on and create more jobs up in the mountains so that the people that live there will stay there and they will continue to help maintain the coffee industry growing.
That is so cool. I didn't know that was part of your plan or just crossed your mind, but that could be pretty cool experience, right? Go up and experience the mountains, experience the farm, and so on. Um, again, I've always take my hat off to both you and Grisel as I've watched you grow this amazing enterprise. Um, and it's just incredible. Now, tell us about if you what was some of the biggest challenges you had along the way? Was there a time when you were, I don't know, I haven't heard the negatives of your business. Is there a time that you were like ready to throw in the towel or things were not, or has it always been on an upward trajectory?
I think there's certain points in every person's business growth where you need to make right decisions for it to grow. And I remember one in the very beginning stages, maybe we were doing 2 million or something like that at the time. And it was like, okay, this is a job. We're making good income. We could be happy at this stage. Do we need to grow? And I remember having a meeting and discussion with my wife, like, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to grow this, or are we just going to, continue? We're happy. It's the income is decent. We're not millionaires, but it's great. We're happy, etc. And that's where we decided that we would invest in our company. We didn't have any salespeople at that time, and we decided to grow. And we invested in hiring our first salesperson. And it was hard for me to conceptualize that maybe spending the money on a salesperson would really take us to the next level. But amazingly, it did, and it made us grow and double our business over. And basically, we've pretty much grown almost every year, other than Hurricane Maria that set us back, and also because of the pandemic. And those two factors, the hurricane was one that set us back, but the pandemic is the one that really hit us the hardest. The hurricane, we were up we lost the roof of our warehouse, but we were still running. In 3 days, we were back up and running. It was a challenge getting diesel fuel to our trucks. There was always constantly running out of diesel, or we ran on a generator for practically a year or 2 years. Many challenges that we faced through that period. But the pandemic was probably one that hit us the hardest. We ended up losing in sales about $5 million in sales. And that's when you realize all the mistakes that you were doing that you didn't realize were embedded in your business. And what I mean by that is we had some really good customers where the profitability was great. But because I wasn't looking at my business on a category by category basis, the fact that this one customer, which represented 30% of our business, more or less, represented, a really high profitability, well, that was covering all the mistakes in many other categories of our business. And what I mean by that, we had the vending division, we have the food service division, the office coffee division, wholesale division. And so that one division that we lost was lifting the rest of the company. And when we lost them from over a 10 to 12% profitability, basically and obviously the drop in sales and maintaining the same staff, we were down to zero or negative in income. But we also realized even after fixing some things, we were still barely making a 3% profit. Thankfully, I can say that we've recouped that and also grown. We've already surpassed that amount this year, and we're looking forward to future growth. This last year, we grew 20%. We expect to grow another 15% this next year. And we were able to start looking at the categories and make changes to start increasing prices. That was a problem, Marco. We had customers that would have been with us from the beginning that we had never increased prices. We weren't paying attention to that. And the lesson was, from now on, we're definitely going to be looking at increasing prices every year, even if it's 1% or 2%, because just for inflation, you have to cover that. And those are the mistakes that when you try to increase someone's product prices and you haven't increased their price for 15 years, it's a big challenge to take them to where they need to be, because you hadn't looked at it in so long. And we're still working on some of those cases of bringing them up slowly instead of in one hit. Let's do it over 3 or 4 years to get them where they're supposed to be.
Wow, great lesson there. And I can imagine that the COVID example is one of the things you learned from it was, okay, now, you were able to scrutinize every other division of your company, cut the fat everywhere you needed to cut, organize it better, deliver better, make all of your divisions either profitable or get rid of them, and end up with, a cleaner, leaner machine, so that once things kicked back in, boom, profits were coming across everywhere. Is that what I understood there?
Yeah, basically, that's right. And it's sad when you think about it in the past, and it makes me realize as a leader, had I been paying attention to those things, how much money did I leave on the table by not really? I think the biggest lesson there, in a great book that I read, it's Simple Numbers by Craig Crabtree. And it's really how to pay attention to that and look at your labor efficiency, look at making sure you're paying yourself the proper salaries, and so that you're comparing yourself apples to apples with other businesses in the industry. And, I know I lost tons of money had I been paying attention and been a better leader in the past. How much money I would have,
What was the name of that book one more time?
Simple Numbers.
Simple Numbers by Craig
Crabtree.
Crabtree. Folks, we'll be right back. I've got a bunch of questions for Omar on how he built this huge business in Puerto Rico and plans for the future. And don't go away. We'll be right back.
It's time to wow, surprise, and impress your clients with the most powerful customer draw card available anywhere. The Marketing Boost Solutions Show is brought to you by Marketing Boost, where you can get valuable travel and restaurant incentives to drive your leads from prospects to paying customers. Now you can offer complimentary hotel stays in over 130 destinations worldwide. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com and try it for free right now.
Welcome back. You just heard from our sponsor, marketingboost.com. Folks, if you're in business for yourself and you're looking for ways to engage your clients, reward them with perks, rewards, incentives, well, go check out marketingboost.com. We're the most affordable platform in the world where you can provide your clients with an amazing high perceived value incentives to help your clients become evangelists for your brand. So check out marketingboost.com. We're back with Omar Torres, owner, founder of Gustos Cafe business. He's been in business 25 years in Puerto Rico and delivering coffee. He now has his delivery services. He says wholesale. As you travel the island of Puerto Rico, I was there, I guess about a year ago, and I went around the island and went into coffee shops everywhere and kept finding Gustos Cafe served under all different types of coffee shops around the island. I went into grocery stores and found Gustos Cafe on the shelves. I went, it was just really cool. I was really proud to see my younger brother, Omar, here operating one hell of a business. We're back into his office there. He took away the virtual screen, and in the background, you can see a huge warehouse behind him. Omar, how big is that warehouse? How many square feet is that? And it looks like a Home Depot behind you. What have you got going on at the warehouse back there? I see trucks in the background loading up. Tell us a little bit about the wholesale side of what goes on in that warehouse.
Well, this warehouse here in particular is where we do our roasting and storing pretty much the majority of what the coffee side is. We do have an overflow of other items that we sell, like paper cups, anything to do related to coffee shops or the coffee business. And we have two other warehouses, one right next to us here, close by, which is in total, we have 36,000 square feet. We also have another 12,000 square feet in Ponce, which is the other side of the island. And we distribute our products and service our clients throughout all the south side up to Mayagüez from our warehouse in Ponce.
Wow. And so I thought it was just one big warehouse there. So you've got, 3, 4 warehouses, 36,000 square feet?
3 warehouses. And we also, in reality, we have another warehouse in Yauco where we store some of our coffee also.
Do you provide any coffee to the Virgin Islands at all as well?
We have some customers in the Virgin Islands. We pretty much focus primarily on servicing Puerto Rico, and through online purchases, we service Puerto Ricans throughout the United States. And we also have customers in the United States as a wholesale side. We have bakeries in Florida that are using our coffee successfully. We also have a coffee shop in New York, in Buffalo, New York, that uses our coffee, and a lot of small little places that use it in the United States. We haven't focused a lot on the United States because we have so much business that we feel that we want to focus on Puerto Rico. And it's just, we love specialty coffee. That's what fills us with passion. But we have several different brands of coffee. So whatever your need is in the coffee industry, we have all the different price points that we can help you with.
That's amazing. And so Omar, real quick, where do people go to order coffee from you? What's the best way to? I see it on Amazon. I see it elsewhere. Would it be better to shop it from Amazon or straight from Gustos Cafe? What do you recommend?
The easiest way is to shop on our new wholesale page, not wholesale page, our website, and you can go to shop and just select the coffee that you want. and we will ship it to you. If you spend over $60, I believe it's free shipping. So the more you buy, the cheaper it is for you. And basically, we have different selections. The Chupacabra selection is a very popular selection. That's where we mix specialty coffee from Puerto Rico with specialty coffee from Colombia. This is something that we started because of the Hurricane Maria. There wasn't sufficient amount of coffee being produced in Puerto Rico. So what we did have of specialty coffee in Puerto Rico, we brought in Colombian coffee and we started blending it so that we could still maintain a certain amount of Puerto Rican coffee. And now it's been a staple. People love this blend. It's interesting how the heavy bodiness, let's say, of the Colombian coffee mixed with the Puerto Rican coffee creates a really good flavor profile. And it looks like that's one of your favorites.
That's
obviously.
one of my favorites. I got a big 5-pound, I don't know how many pounds are in this bag, but
That's it. 2 pound.
2-pound bag here of your Chupacabra, one of my favorites here. We got to get on the ongoing subscription of it. So that's what I'm looking to do, is get, because you offer that as well. You can subscribe to it with a couple of clicks, and then it just shows up every however often you need it, every couple of weeks or once a month or what have you.
That's
So,
right.
and that you've got, obviously, if you've got people in Puerto Rico ordering, but you have customers from your website around the world as well, I guess.
That reminds me, maybe I'll talk to my IT team. Maybe we can give you some kind of a discount for your Facebook followers if they sign up for a subscription with me.
That'd be great. Give us a coupon code. We'll be sure to put it in the show notes and what have you. So folks, when you watch this show, or there on YouTube or anywhere else, check out the show notes. Give us your thoughts on Gusto's Cafe. If you've ever been to Puerto Rico, if you've been to the airport, had Gusto's Cafe, give us some comments, give us some likes, tell us what you think about Gusto's Cafe. And with that, we can give you the discount code to order some coffee from Omar here. Let me take another break here. We're going to hear from our sponsor, Automation Booster. We'll be right back. Don't go away. More questions for Daniel coming right up.
Is your business on autopilot yet? Do you have automation in place to capture, nurture, and convert prospects into clients via email, SMS, ringless voicemails, appointment setting? Get all the inbound and outbound marketing tools in one place. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on automating your business so you can make money while you sleep.
Welcome back. We're here with Daniel Omar Torres, my brother, who's an incredibly successful entrepreneur, Puerto Rico. I should have interviewed him on my show many moons ago, but I finally got him on the show here where we're talking about success in business. And tell us about, one of the questions I have is how important would you say is setting up customer service, and what role does customer service play in your brand's identity? How do you ensure your partners, bakeries, restaurants, cafeterias get the best experience working with you? I mean, your coffee is not the most affordable in Puerto Rico. It's not the cheapest on the block. So how do you get them to, love your service and product and grow as much as you have?
I think it starts with our purpose. We want to create smiles with extraordinary coffee and great service. And so from there, we move to our values as a company. Service is one of our first values. And it's important to us to make sure, and part of being service, we consider our customers, especially when it comes to the food service, the bakeries, and as you mentioned, is that we feel that we're business partners. We want to help them grow and help them be successful. And in order to do that, we need to provide them with high quality coffee so that customers continue to return, and make sure that the machines that we provide for them, because we are also espresso distributors. We represent Rancilio espresso machines and La Marzocco espresso machines. And our technical department is what provides service to our customers throughout the island. So besides coffee, we also provide the service of maintaining the equipment and maintaining that they continue to sell our coffee. And so it all starts with our purpose, and also our value of providing excellent service.
So yeah, you've offered the entire lineup of these Italian machines, if I recall, is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
And these are for both home use or commercial use. So there's different machines that you can get for your kitchen or what have you, and or for your coffee shop, your restaurant, etc. And especially if you're in Puerto Rico for the purpose of the backup service that you can provide for all of them. Um,
You
Powerful.
know, Marco, being, and then you also, you know, we both came and grew up in the service industry as running restaurants. We, as you know, we helped our parents run their Mexican restaurant. And so we grew up with that passion of being able to provide service. And it becomes ingrained in what you do. And that's why I studied, as you mentioned earlier, hotel and restaurant management at Michigan State. And so when I started the coffee industry, this coffee business, to me, coming from, and not coming from the restaurant industry, it was important to me that we provided excellent service so that we could help the wholesale side, help these restaurants with their coffee, not only their coffee, but also the equipment. Because the worst thing is when you have a business and you're in the restaurant business and the machine breaks down, it's like, oh crap, what are you going to do now? Who do you call? So for us, it's always been important to me that our service team has what they need so that we can provide that service to our customers. And the same goes for our customers who buy equipment for their home. We want to make sure that we provide quick service for them because we know that the coffee is a drug. They need that coffee in the morning, and we want to make sure that that machine is there ready as soon as possible for them. It's something that we strive to do. We're not perfect, but we definitely invest not only in having a huge amount of parts, having equipment available, all those little things that mean a lot. And the training of our staff. We have 18. Our service department is of. We have 20 people in our service department that cover the entire island to provide service.
Wow. And then you've got the last time I was in your office there, I saw you had a bunch of people on the phones in your office. What is their role? What do you guys do within the coffee business there with that much staff that I saw, in cubicles and on the phones?
Well, I think actually that was just the accounting department.
Oh, okay. Well, that just the accounting department for that whole team I saw there. Okay. So tell me about how many salespeople do you have nowadays that help you maintain this volume coming through the door and selling new accounts and managing?
We currently have 6 staff members that are dedicated to sales. As far as new customers and new clients and closing the deal, as you would say, taking the leads and progressing them to closing. And then we have the distribution side, which is another, I believe, if not mistaken, 10 different distribution channels of trucks that deliver product throughout the island, with their supervisor that manages them.
So, there's a lot of competition with Puerto Rican coffee. Yauco and some of the other mega brands of coffee. How did you find a way to squeeze your way in? I would imagine there's some of these guys that, had practically a monopoly on it and, good old boy connections. Did you not get threats from this type of cartels to push you out of the coffee industry there?
It was always a concern, but thankfully nothing happened like that. And not a concern in reality, no. But the competition is always something that you're looking over your shoulder and wondering if you're doing the right things. But I think when you know that you're trying to do the best and you're looking out for your customers and you're listening to your customers, things are going to go well. And I think that's been the key to our success of constantly, as I said before, being thinking of our customers as partners, and making sure that we're always trying to improve our quality, trying to make really inroads of providing the best product we can. Has been what has helped us throughout the years and been successful.
So tell me about the organization that you're a part of, helping other entrepreneurs on the island. The networking group, I forgot what it's called now. Let me, uh,
Entrepreneurs organization.
yeah.
Uh, that started thanks to Carlos Cobian, the founder, the leading founder who started the chapter in Puerto Rico. It's a worldwide chapter. There are, oh boy, I can't remember. There's 19,000 members worldwide. I believe we are in 85 countries. And there's 260 chapters, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in that number. And this is a chapter for founders, organization for founders. Because as a founder of a business, many times it's a lonely position. You don't know who to talk to about different issues, things that are happening in your business, and you don't know who to lean on. And it's becomes a forum. I have 6 forum mates that are all founders of their businesses, and we get to meet once a month and discuss the issues that are happening, either personal, business related, or family, and we discuss the issues at hand that are most that keep us up at night as business owners. Sometimes you could have a really good positive thing that's happening, and maybe it's so positive that you don't even want to talk to your friends about, because they're going to look at you and be jealous. Or so here is a group of people that when you talk about the wins that you've had in the business, they understand you and they also support you. Equally so, when you have the downs, when things are going wrong, they've been through this. Usually a lot of them have been through something similar, not maybe exactly the same, but they've had the same fear, the same emotions that you're going through, maybe a different situation, but they can empathize with what you're going through and provide. And the good thing about this organization, nobody gives advice. You cannot give advice because we're all successful entrepreneurs. What we do give is experience share. I had an experience that brought fear to me, just like you have fear now with whatever decision. And in order for me to handle that, I did this and this and this. And that's what's all about in these forums.
What's the name of this organization again?
Entrepreneurs Organization. In order to participate, you have to have, to join it, you have to solicit and ask to be in one. You have to have $1 million in sales from one business. Maybe you can't join 2 or 3 different businesses to reach that amount. And you have to also have the values that are aligned with EO, which to me, the main value that EO is wanting to always grow, to learn, to be better, not only as a business leader, but also in a personal capacity. Because to be a good leader, you need to be a better person. And because in order to be successful in business, you have to take care of your employees. You have to understand, how to make sure the business is successful, but taking care of the culture of the business, so that culture is so important that by having those 2 together, it just allows you to grow naturally.
Omar, what is one of the, obviously you've stayed a student of improving yourself and your business. And what would you say is the like a book that has been the most impactful that you've read that's helped you, with your business, that you'd recommend to other founders or other entrepreneurs to go get? Does anything come to mind?
One of the first books that I read that totally blew my mind was Good to Great by Jim Collins. And one that I'm just reading right now, which I've so far I've found very, very interesting. It's called Get Smart by Brian Tracy.
Brian Tracy has been one of my favorite authors of all time. Yeah, so, folks, you see here, success follows a model. And one of the models is never stop educating yourself. You've got to be reading the right books, being a part of the right networking organizations. watching the YouTube videos like this and doing what you got to do to stay and bring yourself into a circle of success. You need to, like Grant Cardone says, if your wealth is not where you want it to be, then maybe it's time to change your network. I forget exactly how the saying goes, but the point is, if your network is not, if your net worth is not where you want it to be, I just remembered, if your net worth is not where you want it to be, then it's time to change your network and change the circle of people that are around you. They'll raise expectations. You'll learn what they do and what their habits are, and you will slowly and follow along the track of others that are being successful. Omar, it's been an amazing conversation to chat with you today and learn more all about Gusto's Cafe. If you're looking for some good coffee, go to gustoscoffee.com, and order some coffee. I recommend the Chupacabra. For those that don't know, what does the Chupacabra name come from, Omar? Tell us about the Chupacabra.
A chupacabra is a mythical creature that has taken over, become in the Latin community and the Hispanic world of Latin America. It was a myth of a crazy, like the animal that would suck the blood out of the animals at night. And because this coffee is a mixture of Colombian coffee and Puerto Rican coffee, for some reason it seemed like it's a Latin American blend. So I kind of just threw in the name. Why not just call it Chupacabra? And
it's been a hit.
So
it's been
a hit.
So guys, go check out the Chupacabra, order it, get on the monthly subscription to Chupacabra or one of the other reserve brands. There's another one of my favorites here as well from the special reserve of their mountain. You want anything detailed about this coffee again, Omar? Gusto's Reserva?
That's the Gusto's Reserva La Montaña. That's the one from our farm. That's my favorite also. It's my farm. And the farm is located about 3,000 square feet. It's a great altitude for great coffee. And what can I say? It's also won the Taza de Oro one year. It's a great coffee. We dedicate our time to make sure it's the best it can be. And there you go.
One of the final questions I thought I better ask is, because it has been something that I've revered about you and Grisel, is that you've run this business together for 25 years now. And that is an amazing, it's, a challenge in itself. Being married for 25 years is challenging enough. Running a business together, I guess, to me would seem to multiply that challenge in many ways. And when I've been to the island and I've seen you guys working together, your offices, side by side there, how do you do it? How have you and Grisel managed how do you keep business when you go home from the office? How do you shut it off? And how do you guys get along so well and have built, what's the secret to that? If anybody's out there running a business with a spouse.
Good question. Obviously I'm not going to say it's all peaches and roses, but it is an advantage to have someone that you can bounce ideas off of and get feedback. I don't pretend to be the genius behind everything that's happened at Gustos. My wife has been just as much a part in every decision. Sometimes I have to convince her, but maybe by convincing her and taking the time to convince her makes my argument stronger, makes me consider other things that maybe I wouldn't consider. One thing that we did do working together is we kind of have slightly different roles, although big decisions, it's always together. But she handles the human resource side. And a lot of the stuff that I don't want to take care of, which is great because we have kind of separate roles. And that's one way that we've been able to work together, where we have separate roles. At home, what do you say? We're always business. It's 24/7. Sometimes we try not to talk about it, but at any time we'll talk about business. And I guess we both love what we do, and we're happy. I love showing up in the morning to get my coffee, my first cup of coffee here in our coffee shop, talking to our employees. It's great. It's fun. And seeing us grow over the years is also exciting.
Yeah, you guys have done amazing, amazing growth. Um, it's literally been something that, and it's such a solid, true, real business. You create a product, you grow a product, you deliver it as a product, you deliver the services to go with it. I mean, you cover all the bases in a business that most of us don't do. You either have a service product only, or you have a online coaching business, or you do this or you do that. You guys have to do it all. I mean, you're literally growing the product on a farm, and then you've got to roast it to your perfection, and then you're bagging it and packaging, and then sales and delivery, and then customer service, from everything from the machines that make the brew the coffee to the roasters. And just I'm proud of you, man. And and thank you for sharing your story. Hopefully I'd love to have you back another time on the show, and we can dig down deeper into maybe some of the different challenges, sales, marketing, et cetera, that's led to your success. So once again,
Sure.
thank you. Thank you, Grisel. Thank you, Omar, for the business you developed, for the wonderful coffee. Folks, don't
Thank
forget
you.
to give us a like, give us subscribe below. If you like the content we brought you today, please like, subscribe, and share this with anybody else. And go to the links down below. There's the links right down there to gustoscoffee.com to order some coffee for yourself. And if you're in Puerto Rico, you can't miss it. I mean, I know Omar's trying to push out all the Starbucks and take over the island with, but he's in the best locations. He owns the airport. So when you get to the airport, all the coffee shops are his. So make sure you look. Oh, one last question on that. I keep thinking of things at the last minute here. As you've grown, now you got, I don't know how many locations, multiple locations at the airport and everywhere else. How do you maintain the quality of service and branding? And what are the challenges behind doing that when you're not talking about your product in a bag that goes on a shelf, but your, staff and human involvement, and the baristas and the service and the delivery and the smiles and what have you? What have you found to be the biggest challenge there, and how do you do it?
It's a loaded question, a very difficult question. In the coffee shops at the airport is a very difficult challenge. We depend on a third party that actually runs the coffee shops, because the only way to get into the airport is basically through the licensee that has the rights to the entire airport. So how do we take care of them? We provide them as much as possible training, and a constant training that we provide here in our academy. We also in the airport have installed specific machines to help give consistency in the product, as far as special grinders that grind and weigh the amount of coffee automatically. And we also have installed machines that provide that froth the milk and heat the milk to specific temperatures that we set. So those are some of the things that we do in order to provide consistency and the use of our coffee. And that's interesting also what you just mentioned. Unlike wine, where basically the wine producer fills when he's ready to sell it, the wine is at its peak, or it's good. And all you do is uncork it and pour it. And that's what the sommelier, the wine manufacturer wanted that taste to be. In coffee, I can roast the best coffee to the perfect point, but it's not the final stage in the flavor and how it will be perceived with the client. What really is the last person that makes the coffee, the barista, or even at home, if you don't put the right amount of coffee in the water, or you don't have the right temperature of water, you're not going to get a good brew. So that's what makes it much more complicated as a roaster, to try to make sure that the flavor that we roast for is seen through all the way to the very end to the customer. It's a difficult thing, because you could have a great coffee, but if the barista doesn't do it properly, doesn't add the right amount of coffee, and or drags the extracts too much water through the espresso, it'll change the flavor. And I could show you that if you were here in my coffee shop, or if the temperature of the machine is wrong, that would be on me, that will also change the flavor of the espresso. It's amazing how complicated and how easily the flavor can change based on the way it was brewed. But here, that's what we do that's why we have the academy, and that's what we do with our customers to make sure that they're more consistent. As far as the coffee shops that we do run directly, it's about our values. We constantly are going over our values with them, understanding that service is important, is critical. Our customers are first. Our passion, to have passion for our coffee and passion for what we do, meaning that we want to do it right. Trustworthiness, to make sure that you're a man of your word. These are our values, that you say what you do and you do what you say. And finally, compañerismo, which is camaraderie with each other, our staff, and making sure that we're not fighting amongst each other, that we're working together and have a safe, trustworthy place, an environment where you can speak your mind and say without consequence and do the right thing.
Well, thank you again, Omar, for being here. You've been amazing, folks. Thank you for listening, and you had a chance to get to know one more family member of mine, get to meet my brother, Daniel Omar Torres, super successful coffee business in Puerto Rico. Please give us a like, subscribe, and share this with other entrepreneurs. And stay tuned for the next episode of the Marketing Boost Solutions podcast. We'll see you on the next show. Click right here or right there to watch the next one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marco. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Boost Solutions podcast with your hosts, Captain Marco Torres. Now it's on you. Take the next step now. Go to marketingboostsolutions.com for more on how you can wow, delight, and surprise your clients with the most amazing draw card on the planet. So stay thirsty, my friends. Stay thirsty for knowledge. See you next time.